world's leading superpowers are locking horns.
Game on here. A trade war between the United States and China is here.
Over the past 16 months, America and China have been trading blows through tariffs on goods.
We are looking at a reality that has, a 25% tariff on every single product that would come in from China.
The impact is being felt on industries worldwide. But what is the story behind the America-China trade war?
Collateral damage is a negative effect inflicted on a party different than the intended target. The United States-China trade war was characterized by the United States and China imposing additional tariffs on goods imported from the other country, meaning buyers in the opposing country would need to pay higher taxes to bring their purchases into the country. Conflict among the world's greatest powers frequently leaves others caught in the middle and suffering the consequences. A war is never bilateral. It affects the entities within, around, and outside of its boundaries. The U.S.-China trade war resulted in social and economic distress on sub-Saharan Africa. Throughout the duration of the trade war, China has been able to leverage their relationship with sub-Saharan Africa. They have taken the most initiative to build infrastructure that integrates and binds African nations to ease trade. China is now Africa's biggest trade partner. The economic impacts, which will be talked about soon, have been working in the favor of Beijing and given them a chance to strengthen their political reach on the African continent. Countries like Djibouti see China as a quote-unquote longer-term partnership. On the American side, however, the relationship is taken less seriously. America is seen as an opportunist joke that only views the African continent as a way to achieve quick, easy wins and boost their power. United States tariffs inadvertently gave ammunition to Beijing's narrative and undermined U.S. efforts to stem Beijing's political reach on the continent. The trade war had a damaging effect and put a strain on the relationship between the United States and sub-Saharan Africa. The United States set supplemental goals for sub-Saharan Africa and have been unable to meet them as a result of their actions in the trade war. The United States has lost footing and influence in comparison to China. Current actions being taken by the United States, like promoting U.S. protectionism, work against sub-Saharan Africa's goals of integration and trade. U.S. protectionism gives America an apathetic image towards the region. And since the trade war and Trump taking office, African leaders have decided to decrease engagement with the United States as its tariffs are slowing economic growth and deepens their dependency on foreign aid.
U.S. protectionism can be defined as the United States using restrictions such as tariffs to boost its own industry and shield it from foreign competition. African leaders have noticed this selfish act of America during the U.S.-China trade war. Though the trade war is indirectly causing negative effects on Africa, the damage is still seen by everyone. This is very contradicting on behalf of America, being that a U.S. goal was to promote African self-reliance through increased U.S. trade and investment. Another goal of America was to limit the expanding relationship between Africa and China, but U.S. protectionism has shown Africa that they are all for the benefit of themselves. During this time, China and Africa's relationship increased. Though Africa is hopeful that the United States and China can come to a mutual ground and end the trade war, they are thinking of ways to ensure their own economic development without the help of the United States through intra-African trade.
Every war is not good, but from an African point of view, we are very focused on how we can ensure that we continue to participate in global trade. Both the inbound to our continent, the outbound from our continent. We're very focused on what we can do to make sure that we continue to trade.
But how can you continue to trade at the same level If giants like the US, the EU, China are all coming down on each other with tariffs, that slows down international trade.
I'm sure they will find a way to work it out. What we'll rather focus on is what we can do to ensure we continue to improve the lot of our people, especially trading among ourselves in the African continent. The intra-African trade is very low. We're very focused on ensuring that because of the distribution of resources, wealth, and capabilities across the continent, we want to focus on being able to trade among ourselves first. And it's only when we can improve that ability to trade among ourselves, and I'm sure you know within the continent, we are signing the intra-Africa trade, the Continental Free Trade Area, to make sure that as a continent, we can continue to address ourselves as a single market. I think that is the single biggest opportunity in front of us that we need to realize.
AFRIMEX defines intra-African trade as the trade in goods and services between or among African countries and the flow of goods and services between Africa and Africans in the diaspora. Africa has the lowest intertrade rate when compared to other countries at a low 16.6% in 2017, according to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Whereas the statistics for intertrade are 6.1% in Europe, 59.4% in Asia, and 55% in America. With a large continental population of over 1 billion people trading amongst themselves, Africa can increase their efforts in boosting their own economy by trading amongst the continent instead of exporting 80 to 90% of their resources, or in other words, leaving 80 to 90% of their income in the hands of an undecided economy, being that there is no definite date when the United States and China will come to an agreement regarding the trade war.
South Africa and the Southern Africa. South Africa is the most developed technologically in the continent. Therefore, it should be possible for us to export raw materials from the Southern Africa to get produced in South Africa. If you look at the rest of the West African countries and the East African countries and North African countries, there are enough expertise if we ensure that the market is available for everybody to participate to ensure that industries can be located in all these countries. So from our point of view,
the United States has initiated trade actions affecting a broad group of countries and faces retaliation or retaliatory threats from China, the European Union, its NAFTA partners, and Japan, among others. Our modeling suggests that if current trade policy threats are realized and business confidence falls as a result, global output could be about 0.5% below current projections by 2020.
President Xi Jinping of China is in Africa this week. He'll pass through Senegal and Rwanda before heading to South Africa and the BRICS summit in Johannesburg. Africa plays a key role in Xi's Belt and Road plan. And China is Africa's largest trading partner. If Chinese-made products are hit with US tariffs, there could be a knock-on effect. Africa's share of global exports is low, making up just 2.4% of total global exports. 2/3 of sub-Saharan imports are finished products, and products shipped out to the rest of the world are dominated by raw materials. Africa's current internal trade is low too. Well, my next guest.
Commodity prices has weakened due to U.S. implementing tariffs around the globe. Oil and industrial metal prices fell following the tariffs on Chinese imports. An expert at African Development Bank says that Africa's GDP can reduce by 2.5% due to trade tensions. The demand for sub-Saharan African raw materials has also reduced due to tariffs imposed on China by the U.S., ultimately costing countries like South Sudan and Angola $75.2 billion in annual exports. The trade war forces China to look for substitutes on U.S. imports. Unfortunately, countries with better developed manufacturing industries than sub-Saharan Africa will become those substitutes. The future of sub-Saharan Africa relies on technology, climate change, and global economic integration. All will decrease in numbers due to the U.S.-China trade war. Because majority of sub-Saharan Africa is self-employed, the trade war will decrease productivity and exports. Technology helps job efficiency. Sub-Saharan technology convergence with the world could increase due to technology. However, the trade war would reduce technology advances in sub-Saharan Africa and diverge the subcontinent with the rest of the world.